It's Chris here, and I just thought I'd do a short, hopefully, video about some recent stuff I got going toy shopping. So I had a couple of days off work, and that coincided with the Big W toy sale that they have every year. So I picked up a couple of things, including this just released Master Universe Origins Tri-Klops movie figure, and a few other things. So let's have a look at what I got. So as I said, Big W have their massive toy sale every year, and it's always good to pick this up just because it reminds me of the good old days when me and my brothers would flick through toy catalogues and kind of circle what we want for birthdays or Christmas. So I mean, it's many pages, and it's got everything you can imagine in here. But it's so good just to see Master Universe stuff in a toy catalogue again. And let's see if I can find that page. So they've got board games, electronic stuff, cars, you know, there's some Star Wars and Mandalorian stuff, the Ushies, which I did pick up the Star Wars one of, and look at that, there we go, Masters of the Universe movie merchandise in a toy catalogue, which is just lovely to see. And as expected, as I said, Marvel, Star Wars, and all that kind of stuff. So yes, this is available online, and obviously these are available in Australian Big W shops as well. So these are Australian prices, in case you're wondering if they're a bit different from what you have seen. So there we go, the Big W catalogue. And apart from Big W, I also went to Kmart and Target, and this is my little toy haul. Tri-Klops here was $19 from Kmart. He was the only one I found on the shelf, and this is the movie figure of the Master of the Universe, the Origins scale. So slightly shorter, more articulation, but basically Origins is what we remember from the vintage figures, but with more articulation. So the kind of squat, chunkier, more muscular bodies. This is obviously the movie figure. This is what Tri-Klops looks like in the movie. I have seen the movie, and it was awesome. Managed to get tickets to preview screening, or free tickets to preview screening a week earlier, which is absolutely awesome. So you can see my video all about that. And Tri-Klops is hardly in it. I think he only has 1 or 2 lines, but this is definitely his look from the film. And we've got the exploding red rocks in the background. Cool artwork, nothing else, no bio about the character or anything like that. And his gun is in the package as well. So yes, I know I've already got the Spycore and He-Man, but I haven't seen any others apart from this guy. I know they've got Teela and Skeletor Man-at-Arms coming, as well as a double pack of Ram-Man and Moss-Man. So who knows when those will come out. So this was a nice surprise to see this guy on the shelf. Let's open him up. Just like all Origins figures, Tri-Klops here comes with a little pamphlet which shows what parts of the body are removable, so the things in grey. So all the Origins, movie figures or not, are modular, so you can swap between the characters and create your own characters, which is pretty awesome. So yeah, the heads come off, the boots come off, all that kind of stuff, which is fabulous. And as I said, this is what he looks like in the movies, but you know, showing those familiar Tri-Klops beats with the green head, with the green visor and the green chest piece as well. And yes, the visor does turn, which is awesome. So they're all one color, or the eyes. So we've got the square, the triangle and the circle, and they all do different things. I think in the comics or the cartoon, one was like a laser blast, one was a x-ray kind of thing. So yes, pretty cool. And you can take this green part off as well if you want to. And we can see Tri-Klops here is a bit more kind of cyborgy looking. He's got more cybernetic parts with the arms and that kind of thing. We don't really get a look at that in the movie, but that's okay. And this is the gun that he comes with, which is primarily done in green. And yeah, it looks probably more realistic, more like something we'd find in the military using these days. It's not too sci-fi, but it's a sniper rifle with trigger and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, looks pretty good, and he can fit that, I'm assuming, in either hand. So there we go, he can hold it in either hand. And some nice detailing on this figure. As I said, very familiar green for Tri-Klops. And let's see what he looks like next to the other movie Origins figures I have. There he is with the movie designed Spycore, which is a bit of a departure, but he's kind of got the purples and the spikes, what we know as Spycore, plus the mace. And there's the movie Origins He-Man. So he kind of fits in well with those, pretty cool. He has a bit of difficulty, Tri-Klops, holding the gun because he doesn't have any trigger fingers as such, so somewhat limited posability, but nevertheless you can kind of get him into some good poses. And just like all the other Origins figures, we got single jointed knees and elbows, and yeah, wrists can move as well, head can move obviously, and waist can move. So yes, these are more the chunkier kind of exaggerated proportions of the characters, but for $19, at least here in Kmart in Australia, pretty cool. Some good paint applications with the little rivets painted silver and the pipes painted gold and whatnot, so good attention to detail. So there we go, happy to find this guy, the only one I've come across in the wild so far, Movie Origins Tri-Klops. Next up, I went to Big W and I did see their wonderful Masters of the Universe movie display taking centre stage in their aisle as part of their toy sale. I did ask one of the people that works there, like, what do you do with all this cardboard stuff after it's done? And she said, oh, we either destroy it or we give it back to the supplier, which is the answer I expected, but it's a bit of a shame because I would love to have one of those in the toy room, at least not the whole thing, but just one of the shelf kind of things on there to say the Masters of the Universe logo. That would be awesome. But anyway, so I had a look at the figures that they had. I did think about grabbing another Skull Knight because my Skull Knight, this is the movie core figure, has got a bit of an error printing, so it should be a pointy sword, but for some reason out of the package my Skull Knight, which is one of Skeletor's minions in the movies, has a flat sword edge. But I didn't grab another one, I thought that'll do. I've had my eye on this for a while and there was a couple of these on the shelf. So this is from the cartoon collection. Again, this is an Origins figure and this is what they look like in the Filmation cartoon, so slightly different from the original vintage toys. And you can see it comes with a couple of extra heads. Flip it over and you can see what he does with those heads. So I've already got these two, so that'll complete the wave. So I already have a Origins Orko, which comes with a cool base, but as I said, this is based on his very similar cartoon look with a couple of different accessories. Because this is the Australian or international variant, it doesn't have a lot of text on it apart from the characters' names really and the branding. So looking at the other cards online, this should have heroic, that's always a hard word to say, court magician under there, and on the back it should say, as seen in the episode The Return of Orko's Uncle. It doesn't have that on the top, and it doesn't have any text obviously under here, which should say includes swappable Uncle Montauk head. So I know that is meant to be Orko's Uncle Montauk. So yes, Montauk, there we go, I can say it right. So yes, basically you can give him a different look if you want to, and he comes with a simple translucent stand. So yes, I don't know what other countries this is doing in, but at least in Australia, no alternate text, it's just the pictures only, and that's pretty much all. So there's no explanation what episode specific accessories these are from, but that's okay. Let's open up Orko. As with all cartoon collection figures, it's got the familiar Filmation Castle Grayskull on the background, and I often say you can keep the sticker on the front there. That just peels off if you want to put that on yourself or whatever, or just if you're keeping a collection of stickers. I always keep these because they're pretty cool and it looks like the Filmation logo, so they've done a nice little job with that. And again, just like the Tri-Klops, he also comes with a little pamphlet showing you which parts of Orko are removable. In this case, his head, his hat, his scarf, the stand, and his hands. And like the cartoon collection figures, at least the older ones, which this is of, comes with a comic. This is called Future Tense, and it's the same comic with all three characters in this wave, so Fangman and Grislaw. I'm not a huge fan of the more cartoony style they've been employing lately. Remember the old vintage comics, mini comics that would come with very gritty and pretty cool artwork, so yeah, not a huge fan of this style, but it's great that they're still including mini comics. And as seen in the episode The Return of Orko's Uncle, here are the episode specific accessories, which comes with a little cool medallion saying that he's a hero. You can see that, so it's nice soft plastic and it's got stuff on both sides, which is cool. And this is Montauk, Orko's uncle. So basically, yes, if you've got two Orko figures, that's pretty cool. So you can have Orko and obviously his uncle as well, and he's just got a board joint and a scarf and a beard. And the actual figure himself, I mean, that looks like it's just floated straight out of the TV screen, as remember from the 80s. He is a blue Trollin, and they do have legs, but they prefer to levitate. and so obviously his articulation is somewhat limited, but he's got elbows, shoulders and wrists, and the stand can come off, so just a simple port and plug in the bottom. And his hat, his wizard's hat, and all that kind of stuff move independently, and it's just all on a ball joint, so that is a nice touch. Anyway, let's take off this part and see if we can make him look like his uncle. So we just take off the hat, and they're all separate pieces, the scarf and the head, put on the uncle's beard, and then the kind of square eyes. You'll see the bigger ball joint on the bottom, and then that's the smaller one on the top is for the hat, so just so you don't get it upside down. There's Uncle Montauk with his beard, and obviously he uses the same wizard's hat. It is a bit tight to get on, so just be careful of that. And now let's give Orko his medal. Here is Orko showing off his medal to the other Orko I have, which is from the Origins line, so not the cartoon collection, but also the Origins line. I assumed they were the same mold, but they actually looks quite different, because you can see this new cartoon collection one is considerably smaller. So I think even the eyes and the heads and yeah, basically everything about him is different, so that's cool. Yeah, the old one is a lot bigger and comes with a more translucent fancy base, but yes, very happy with this one, and it's cool that they have a couple of accessories so you can give Orko a couple of different looks. I'm not sure if other countries have Ushies, but these are basically collectible little rubber kind of for cheap plastic minifigures. I guess they don't move, there's no posability, and I think these are like $5 or $6 each. So I saw these on the way out, so they had Star Wars, Harry Potter, Toy Story and Hello Kitty. And obviously with the Toy Story 5 coming out, there's a lot of Toy Story merchandise. There was a Barbie Kylie Minogue, which I saw was pretty interesting. There's a pretty cool documentary on Kylie Minogue on Netflix, which I do recommend watching if you're familiar of Australia's own pop princess. But yeah, let's open these up. They're basically very cute, and you can see there's a Mandalorian, Ewok, Han Solo, Chewie and Grogu. So 5 in the pack, and it looks like 1 in 6 is Crystal Quest Crystal Pack. So I'm not sure what that is. I mean, they're not really blind bags, but I guess you can kind of rummage and see. But yes, there's no extra ones, so yeah, 5 in the pack. So that's what Ushies look like, and as I said, they're basically like little rubbery kind of figures. There's Chewie, and it's got a bit of translucent to them. You can see, I think it actually says it on the back actually, translucent or transparent Chewie part of their body, and iridescent and Mandalorian Grogu, which is pretty cool. So there's Chewie. Yeah, pretty detailed. You can use them as pencil toppers or whatever, I guess. So there's Chewie, Wicket the Ewok, very cute. So that obviously that kind of cartoony kind of style. Got Han and his pointing. Is that when he's pointing at C-3PO? Don't tell me the odds or whatever, in his blue jacket from, I want to say, Empire Strikes Back. So yes, pretty somewhat squishable. And then we've got Mandalorian and Grogu as well. I think this is a mold they've used a few times. So I've got a few of these. I've got some Superman, Batman, and I think some X-Men ones. So they keep pumping out these Ushies, and yeah, pretty readily available here in Australia, and just pretty cute little fun playthings for the kids or the adults for your desk in the office or whatever. Also at Big W, and a very apt crossover, we got the Choose Your Own Adventure books crossing over with Stranger Things. Obviously I remember the Choose Your Own Adventure books in the 80s, they were a big thing. So obviously Stranger Things being set in the 80s makes for a good pairing. So choose from over 25 possible endings, and if you're not as old as me, then yeah, basically you choose what you want to do, and it tells you to turn to page whatever, and so there's many different options to, yeah, different endings and that kind of stuff. So it's kind of like Dungeons and Dragons light, I guess, so you're on the rails, I guess, a bit, but yeah, it's pretty cool, and it's a rereadable book. So look, even if I don't read it, it certainly will look good on the shelf. So there we go, and it's awesome that such things are available at Big W. I was also hoping to get this, which is the Master of the Universe, the junior kind of novelisation. I know it's at Big W. I asked. They don't have it on shelves, at least here in WA yet, in Western Australia. So I got this from QBD Books. Had a look at Kmart and Target as well, I didn't see it, but yeah, it's a bit of an embossed cover with the familiar cast that we know from the movie. It's interesting that there's no author. It just says the movie novel, and there's no author or anything on it. But yes, so from Scholastic and Mattel. It definitely looks like a junior novel. There's no pictures inside, like the Stranger Things, which does have pictures. I can't remember how much this was, like $10, $11, $12. It was pretty cheap. So yes, I guess if kids like the movie, then this is another way to dive deep. It's cool. It's got Goatman, Evelyn, Skeletor, Tri-Klops, who we just looked at, TLR Sorceress, Man-at-Arms, and He-Man. And yes, I'm just curious to get this, just to read through it and just to see if there's any difference from the movie itself. So there we go, Masters of the Universe, the movie novel, and Choose Your Own Adventure, Stranger Things. It's always the thrill of the hunt, isn't it? You never know what you're going to find. So a couple of action figures, a couple of books, and some cool little ushies to kind of decorate the office or whatever with. So there we go. This is stuff from primarily Big W and Kmart. Very happy that I grabbed all this stuff, and very happy to see all the Master of the Universe movie toys on display and readily available. Thanks for watching all the way to the end. Really appreciate it, and I'll catch you in the next video. Goodbye, geeks.